how affected the communities and the level of response of civil servants, the capacity and level of preparedness. It shows that we were not prepared.
Where will you sleep tonight?
There, in the street. Anywhere. I don't know where I go.
Ito ang gusto ko.
I really want someone to collect their bodies, he says. I want to know where they're taken so then I can light a candle for them.
Ma, hindi ko ma.
They're gone. They're all gone, he says.
Mama! Ewan ba't nangyari sa akin to, ma?
I don't know why this happened to me.
When we saw that, I particularly proposed to the PSI Executive Board for raising a haiyan, Typhoon Haiyan Solidarity Fund. And we did raise that because we see that we need to give assistance to our affected members because they are not included in the government's response to relief, and even in the post-Yolanda rehabilitation, the civil servants affected are not included. So that is the reason why we say, okay, we need to show the government that we are capable of also providing assistance not only to our members but also to the community using the solidarity fund that we raise globally through the PSI. So that the first phase of our assistance or the project is really giving direct financial assistance. After that, the remaining fund is used for capacity building so that our members, particularly in the local government, will be better capacitated in terms of response, in terms of planning, and helping their own local government to really adopt the disaster risk reduction and the management action plan.
I really admire with this peace link with their activeness on the organization of the employees association in the entire country, because we really need that the employees group be strengthened in order that this public sector association can really be a partner, and of course not only Bislig City but the entire public sector association in the entire country, of which it is really necessary that these should be strengthened for whatever purpose, no? Especially on disaster management, because in totality it is the employees of the government who is of course the one who is the action persons, no? The action persons as far as first responders is concerned and disaster response is concerned, including of course the post-disaster whatever mitigating program that the local government may have.
In the quality public service in building, your response time is very important, and your public service organizations respond must be fast, and the quality is not the quantity. The quality services is being measured by certain grading, how you reach them, how you motivate them, and how the organization work.
It's important to have a sustained response and a sort of building resilience. So in order to build resilience, it's important to have resourced public services. Sometimes we call it quality public services, which should be accessible and affordable and available to the people. So that's what we define quality public services. So if the public services are available, people can use it. So it should be a responsive services. So when people are getting into disaster and they are affected by disaster, their immediate need is to access the public services. So, it should be available. That means a very good advanced planning is necessary. Governments need to make advanced planning, the policy makers need to make advanced planning. So, when mega disaster struck, how people will be suffering. So, those things have to be advancedly imagined, and then such infrastructure should be in place. That means it is not only enough that we have policies, but we also need to have implementation mechanism, and we need to have enough human resources. And then more than all, there must be training and retraining and skill building.
I was ground zero when I was assigned in the DRR. No one teaches me about how to work in the DRR because every one of us was new during that time when we were assigned there. And then the challenge that I faced, because few months after my designation in DRR, somewhere in February, then we were hit by Typhoon Sendong in 2011 in December 16. So my first challenge, as I was assigned as a reporting officer, I don't know how to make a report. So it really takes a realization in myself. I have to self-study, to read the RA 10 1-to-1 for 2 hours in the midnight before I can complete my report. And then aside from that, one of the experience also I have is that as a reporting officer, you have to be alert in everything.
Dapat pala, ang taong bayan, hindi lang yung council o ang committee magkaroon ng kaalaman. Dapat lahat pala yung tao, yung malapit sa mga area na malapit sa sakuna, is dapat magkaroon ng isang pag-aaral o isang training na sila mismo as a victim is maging responder.
Starting from the Philippines, that is also one of the main thrusts of the current government administration, keeping the community safe. And how to cascade it? One is to involve our unions at the local level, talking to or have a social dialogue with the local government, with the local chief executive. And at our level as well, we have already done a social dialogue with many of the government agencies involved in the DRRM. So how to cascade? That's why it's a pilot. So meaning whatever we learned, lesson learned here, even challenges, we have to share it with our Philippine affiliates who are also in the disaster prone. Like I said, Nepal, Indonesia, and you know Asia Pacific is one of the continents that really devastated by so many calamities, tsunami, earthquake, wildfires, and others, man-made calamity as well. So I think this lesson we have learned in this project will be very, very important to cascade, to share this information. And we have documented this very well. We have produced 3 volumes of documentations from module development until this national conference. So we will have it documented properly, and we are also developing a video where we will be sharing this in the national and the World Congress in 2017 in Geneva, PSI World Conference.
I think governments need to listen to trade unions. That's my message to the governments, because we are partners in development, because mostly it is the public servants who execute the policies of the government. So governments must listen to the trade unions and especially to the public service delivery workers.
PSI can now really say that it is a pioneering work for us, wherein we have managed to link and make a formal link with a local government executive and a local government unit, no? And as we managed to sign a memorandum of understanding with a particular city which is also very, very much resilient and very much prepared on facing the same, disaster risk reduction and management, policy. So I think that it jives well with the PSI pursuit of tying up and make it a formal tie-up between us, the trade unions, on a proactive stance, linking directly with a particular local government unit. My personal call is for my colleagues and friends in the public services to help us with this building of resiliency, not only for the affected people, but mainly for the whole public sector group. As I understand, everybody should be prepared. Everybody should have something to contribute later on. Who knows who will be affected? Who knows who will have this kind of devastation in the future? And if we are all prepared, if we are all willing to give a simple share of ourselves to this commitment, and that's what I'm asking, a deeper commitment from everybody to help out.
If you want the communities to be resilient, and if you want to reduce vulnerabilities of people, you need a reliable public services. So that has been our main advocacy, is to really ask the government to ensure that essential public services remain in public hands.